Right guys, potentially a new project, potentially a car to move on. I don't know. I'm going to ask your opinions on it. I've mentioned it in the week's vlog, but I've decided I'm going to do this as a separate video. Now, one of my old customers, who I've known all my life, has become very ill, and his daughters have just asked, can we remove the car? Because even in his unable state, he's still adamant he wants to go out and drive, basically. So we've worked on this car basically from brand new. I can remember this as far back as when I passed my driving test in 2006. He's had this car then. So just so you know, I want to just go through it with you. It's most certainly not my kind of car normally. It's just a basic everyday car. But I think I may have a use for this. Basically, we'll go through what it is. Nothing excited, so please do not be surprised when I switch the camera around. A Vauxhall Corsa D, the Bogo Standard Life Edition, but it's got a few extras which we'll get into. So it's the 1 litre 3-cylinder. So it's cheap tax, cheap to run, 50 miles per gallon all day. It's what I call the typical police spec. All the bobby cars that are still in this area, Northumberland Police still actually use 08 plate Corsa Ds, just like this. The undercover ones use them as well, with the same kind of wheel trim, same colour, same spec and 5-door. But on the surface, on the top of it, it doesn't look very interesting. But here is out. So right, 1 litre 3-cylinder, cheap tax, cheap to run, happy days. 08 plate, I quite like the reg as well, WOD, I always remember that. 4 brand new tyres, as you can see, and I mean brand new, brand spankers. Rodex as well, I've told you about those. I actually highly rate them, put them on my Leon. So yeah, being the Life Edition, it's the Bogo Standard wheel trims, but then you get the little tyres, which are cheap to replace. You don't get any front fog lights, but this has got the few extras. This is what you call got the electric pack. So it's the air conditioning. So basically, you get electric mirrors, electric adjustable mirrors, electric windows, obviously remote locking, but you also get air conditioning in the CD player and that, and I think an AUX input somewhere, possibly, I don't know. But bar that, that's about as far as it goes. Don't even get colour-coded door handles, but it's actually an alright spec for a Life. But I don't mind the colour. The car's, it's got a few little scuffs and marks to be expected from the old gentleman, because he lived in a bit of a tight street. It's got Team Heco wind deflectors on it, both sides. Like I've said, these suffer with the usual rust on the corner of the arches. My partner had a 14 plate one of these with less than 20,000 mile, and it was starting to go. So for an 08 plate, that ain't too bad. It can be tidied up, it is what it is. Again, little scuffs and scrapes here and there, and a little bit round the bottom, but trust us, underneath this car is mint. Otherwise we wouldn't have carried on working on it. We would have told them to get rid. Round the back, I think it's quite a smart enough little car, to be quite honest. The usual, like I've said here, he's caught the bumper a little bit with the one little scarp there, but that arch is perfect. And one little bit on the door where he's been catching it on the wall where he's been getting out. But main thing about this car, apart from that we've serviced it from new, it's only got 56,000 mile, and it's actually running. And we all know how terrible these 3-cylinder 1 litres are for rattling timing chains, and this is one of the few where the timing chain, you'll have to excuse, there's a police helicopter over there making such a racket, and if you listen to this running, you can't even hardly hear it. It's absolutely silent. Why? Because we've looked after it properly and serviced it from new, using all the correct oils. You listen to that, you'll not find a 1 litre 3-cylinder like that anywhere, I can guarantee. All of the heads of those wax oiled as we normally do, fully serviced every year. New battery fitted, a Bosch one. New vacuum pipes, the crankcase ventilation pipes always go. They're normal. And by the way, yes, it is rattling around because it's a 3-cylinder. That's what they do. That's normal. I think it had the new water pump on it. It's had everything over the years. So yeah. What I will say, what it did have was a massive overhaul about 2 years ago. It had 2 new front bottom arm wishbone arms and TRW, which cost a fortune. 2 new front shockers, 2 new front springs, 2 new front drop links, 2 new strut top bearings, 2 new back shockers, 2 new rear springs. I think it had discs and pads while we were on, and the drum stripped down. So it had nearly £1,000 spent on it a couple of years ago. And we all know the front subframes on these can rot. It's been coated the whole time from new, so there's no issues there. So really, it's a pretty good, all-rounded little car. But I don't know what to do. Shall I keep it? Here is out. Because, as you know now, all my cars have moved around, they've gone. All I've got left now, once the ML at the end of this month of September goes into storage, all I have is the A6. That's it. But the A6 is a saloon, so I'm a little bit stuck at times for taking the dogs. And I wouldn't mind, as you know, I had my little Fiesta van, which was handy, but what put us off that was it was nearly £300 tax. For to just use it once in a while. This being the 1 litre, I was expecting it being £30, but it isn't. It's £160, which when you divide that up, I think it works out at like something like a tenner a month. I don't know, something like that. So that's more affordable to have it as a... Just basically, I've got no love for the... I like the fella, but I don't particularly like the 1 litres. I don't particularly like the Corsa Ds, but it drives lovely. It drives like a new car with those miles on. Do I keep it and just hoy the dogs in the back and use it for through the winter? Now, the little skinny tyres, little 1 litre 3-cylinder petrol. I'll rephrase that. The little skinny tyres will be brand new with that. It'll be great for getting traction in the snow. The dogs will go on the back. I'll not be too bothered about it. Being a little 1 litre 3-cylinder, it heats up straight away, so you'll have nice, like, warm heat coming through within minutes of it running. So, yeah, thinking about maybe keeping it for myself and just using it as a cheap runabout instead of having to plod around in a 2.7 V6 diesel Audi for just short journeys and when I've got the dogs. And I've got the space, guys, so before you see how you got... literally, I've got the Caravan on the drive, the A6 and the Corsa. There's space for it, no problem. It wouldn't be in the way. So what do you think I should do? Do you think I should keep it? Or do you think I should move it on? Or do any of you guys fancy it? Are any of you guys interested in a cheap runner? Because I've been looking up, I think it's a good car to move on. Because at the minute, with the price of fuel being ridiculous, everybody wants a cheap, economical, cheap to insure, cheap to tax, cheap to run car, which that is. It's not high value, so therefore it's a good car. Good history, everything I've just been through there. Shall I buy it, move it on? Shall I buy it and keep it? Don't know. There's a few people who've already shown interest in it, but I don't know. If I start hacking it off with the dogs, I'm not going to put a lot of miles on it, but it's going to be a lot less desirable when it stinks of dog and it's got hairs everywhere. So once I decide to start doing what I'm doing, don't know. But let us know what you think. It's got a neck-breaking 59 brake horsepower, but it's a 5-speed. It plods along, no bother. I think it does like 98 mile an hour in the book. I haven't tried that, but it'll plod along at 70, 80 mile an hour on a motorway all day, every day, no problem. And like I say, it's got a few extras like the electric mirrors, the aircon, all that. So, yeah, and the fact that I know everything's been done by us, so it's probably a good one to keep. So we'll have a quick last walk around when I spin it round and let us know what you think I should do. And you can hear that engine there, the helicopter's making more of a racket than anything else. And decide what I should do with it. 'Cause I need to give them an answer, the family, and whether I want it. Well, I want it either way. But I'm not even going to bother trying to tidy up too much of this. I don't see the point, because it is what it is. The only way I would probably tidy it up would be to scrape this down like I normally do, cure rust it, and then use a touch in. But to what degree do you go for a car this value? Really, there's probably no point, is there? But it is really tidy. I'm losing track here, by the way. I don't know if I did videos or pictures of the inside. That looks funny on camera, but it's actually clean to the eye. But you know, the back seats have never even been used. Check, these back windows are up. There is actually one wind deflector missing at this side, which I'll just take the one off at the other side so they're matching. But yeah, even the driver's seat, man, there's just nowhere, you know. Actually, I haven't even sat in the car for years. So there you go. Really comfortable, actually. CD player, 9 stations, the same as what's in Holly's Astra. You've got all the dual airbags, you've got airbags up here and there. It's a nice enough car. Airbags in the back. So yeah, it's got all, like, obviously the annoying little indicator stalks that they have, but not a great deal in the way of spec. But you know, aircon, power steering, what more do we want? You know what I mean? It is what it is. So let us know, guys, please. This is just a quick midweek video I just thought I'll put in there, and let us know, please, what do you think I should do? Keep it or sell it? Are any of yous interested? Send us a message. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoy this, hit the like. Naturally, like I'm saying, leave a comment. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe. And I'll catch you when I upload this week's vlogs, which has a lot to come because we are incredibly busy this week. Catch you soon.